Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make an Ojo de Dios. This is quite a popular craft activity that you might well have come across before, but before we begin I just thought it was important to highlight the cultural significance of an Ojo de Dios so that we can appreciate them properly. They originally come from indigenous Mexican communities and they were used as spiritual objects. Traditionally started when a child was born, the father of the child would add a new piece of yarn every year for the first 5 years of the child's life. The eye of the design symbolises the belief in a divine ability to see and understand unseen things. Ojo de Dios translates from Spanish into Eye of God. They are also said to provide good luck, health and safety to anyone who receives one. Now that we understand a bit more about where they come from, we can get into how to make one. All you need for this one is sticks, scissors and a bunch of wool in various colours. We're going to start off with the sticks. Collecting these is a good excuse for a trip to the park. I just showered mine down because they were quite muddy. I'm now going to snap them to about the length of my hand. You can choose any length, it just determines how big the final Ojo de Dios will be and how long it'll take you to make. The first step is to tie your 2 sticks together in a cross using your first colour of wool. So this will be the colour that's in the centre of your Ojo de Dios. I'm just going to do 1 knot diagonally this way and then turn it over and do 1 knot across the other diagonal. And then I gave this one a double knot just to make sure it was secure. They won't be completely sturdy in place yet, so just keep a hold of the join as you begin to weave your wool. The pattern here is to go round in a circle, passing your wool over the far side of the stick and then back under and round the stick before passing it over to the far side of the next one again. It's very easy to get the hang of. So again but slower, it's over the stick and back around, over the next stick, back around it, and so on. After a few turns, you'll start to get the idea of whether you're doing the right thing. You should start to see a diamond shape forming in front of you. To move on to the next colour, you can leave a loose end of your old wool, press the end of your new wool against the stick before looping it round, and then continuing the process on. Just hold your finger against the new end to make sure it stays in place until you've done a few weaves around. Continue repeating this process whenever you like to create these radial stripes. You can use as many or few colours and you can make the stripes as thick or thin as you like. When you're starting to think about finishing up, just keep an eye on where would be a good point to hang your Ojo de Dios from and finish on the stick that you think would be the best as a top stick. To finish off, leave yourself quite a long end of yarn, tie a knot in it, and then tie a loop that you can hang it from. Then check the back for any loose ends and trim them down. I'm going to show you an optional next step of adding tassels. Making tassels is really easy. All you need to do is wrap some yarn around your hand. There's no exact amount, but about this much is good. And then cut another length of yarn, pass it through the yarn in your hand and tie it at the end. This can be a bit fiddly. Next, you want to take your scissors and cut at the other end. Obviously, be careful with any scissors near your hands like that. I'm going to trim the ends for neatness. You could leave it there, but I've got one more step which I think makes it look a little bit more finished. So I'm going to take another length of wool and tie it around my tassel about 1 centimetre down. After you tie the knot, you'll probably have a straight end, so just chop that off and that's your tassel finished. I then repeated the process a couple more times so that I had a tassel for every stick. I attached them to the Ojo de Dios with a simple double knot and cut the excess off. For the tassel that was to be hanging off the bottom, I used the weaving and kind of knotted the tassel into there just for a neater finished product. If you enjoyed making your Ojo de Dios, then you can adapt the same skill in different ways. For example, here I'm going to have a go at one using more than 2 sticks. I did find it a little bit trickier, but it's pretty much the same principle. There's so many different ways that you could experiment with this technique, using different types of yarn, different sticks, and so on. I really hope that you've enjoyed this week's creative session. I found that it was a really peaceful and relaxing activity. I'm glad to have got the opportunity to learn a bit more about Indigenous Mexican culture, and I'm really happy with how they've turned out. As always, if you tried it yourself, then please let us know how you got on and send us any pictures. We'd love your feedback.